Good morning, parents. This is Kim, and I'm here to help you, show you how to navigate and get to your Brightways account. So the first step is to go to ravenhomeschool.com. Once you're there and your ravenhomeschool.com page opens, if you click here on the Brightways link, it will take you to the Brightways login. So right here, you'll need to enter your username and your password. Once you do that, then you'll be able to get in. If you do not know your username and password, please get in touch with your administrative staff or with your advisory teacher. They can get you both the username and the password. So once you log in, your screen will look something like this. Because I'm not the person that has access to this account, I'm not going to send a verification email. You as parents will want to send a verification email. So for right now, I'm going to skip this to be able to log in. And you can see I am in a test account so that I'm not sharing any information that I shouldn't be sharing. Some key features on this parent dashboard, which is where we are located right now. You can see it says dashboard here. It says dashboard here. Important information that you will need to have access to as we move to some more digital processes is this number right here after your name is your family number. If you look over here, you will have your teacher, and you can click right on their name to email them. You will have whoever is your family rep or your admin staff for your office. If you have a school counselor, their name is listed here. And just know that these are active links. So if you click in here to email them, the email will go to them. All right, let's get started with what we're looking at today, because we have added some new features because of all of the things that are happening in our world today in regards to the coronavirus. So if you are like us, you are in a work from home status or something like that, or you're practicing social distancing and good hand washing and all of those things with your children and your family and those that you are in regular contact with. So let's look at some of the new features. Right here is your parent dashboard. On your parent dashboard, you have your students. You have access to whatever computer information is in the system for you. You have all your previous applications. And most importantly, you have this contact page, which shows you what your current contact information is. So please double check to make sure that this contact information is up to date and current, because as our situation is right now, we are using email and phone as our primary means of communication. So it is important that this be up to date and current in order for you to get all the information you need. Up here at the top, you have three buttons: the dashboard, which is the one we just explored. You have enrollments, which shows you all your previous enrollments. And the button that most of you don't use very often, but I'm going to encourage you to use very often now, because it's where we're adding our new digital forms, is the resources tab. So when you click on this tab, right here at the top, you have some stuff specific to Brightways. So if you need Brightways help, if you need to change your password, if you have some feedback you want to share with Brightways, you have the ability to do that within this first block. Secondary to that, we have added each of these sections is new. So for Anchorage, there's an Anchorage Forms section. Delta has a Delta Forms section. Eagle River has an Eagle River Forms section. Fairbanks has a Fairbanks Forms section. Juneau has one for their families, and Wasilla has one for our families. What we're going to do today is we're going to take a walk through these forms to give you a quick once over. Please know that if you are working in here and you have questions and you get stuck or something doesn't work the way you need it to, please feel free to reach out to your admin staff or to your advisory teacher for assistance. So let's start. I know this is the time of year that you guys are looking ahead to next year. So if you need to purchase curriculum and you've found a great deal on it and you want to buy it now while it's on sale, please know that you need to fill out this pre-approval for curriculum prior to July 1, and it needs to be approved by your teacher. So if you're enrolled in the Anchorage office, you would use the Anchorage forms. If you're enrolled in the Delta office, you would use the Delta forms. If you're enrolled in Eagle River, please use Eagle River forms. If you're enrolled in Fairbanks, please use Fairbanks forms. If you're enrolled in Juneau, please use Juneau forms. And if you're enrolled in Wasilla, please use the Wasilla forms. The reason for this is all the behind scenes routing that takes place. So if you are in Anchorage and you fill out a Wasilla form, then that will go to Wasilla staff and they're going to not know what to do with it. So please make sure you use the forms that are specific to your office where your children are enrolled. All right, pre-approval for curriculum. You'll notice it opens a secondary page with a link. Click that link, it takes you to the form. Please know that there are going to be things that still need to be fixed and modified. And as we find or you find things that are in error, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are happy to fix whatever we know needs to be fixed. And because these were just recently developed, there are errors in them. I am sure you will find some. And I see one right here on this first page, and it's got the family name in here twice. So I will go and fix that when I'm done doing this video. So please enter your phone number. All of the things with a red asterisk are required. You will not be able to submit the form unless it is complete. So I'm going to enter just gobbledygook information in here just for the sake of time, so that we can move through here quickly. The date, you should be able to just drop down the date like that. If you don't know your advisory teacher's name, it is in your Brightways account up in that upper right hand corner, so you make sure you know who your advisory teacher is. Hit that next button and it takes you to the line 1 of the form. So if you have more than one item to purchase, there's a question at the bottom of this, which you'll see in just a minute, that will allow you to submit more than one line item. So I'm going to do this for my student Sally. I'm going to purchase it from Teaching Textbooks. I want grade 5 math, and it is for my student's math class that's listed on the ILP, and the cost is going to be $150. Do I have another item to enter? If I do, I would click yes. For the sake of time, I'm going to click no so that we don't get double routed through the same section. Hit that next button. It takes us to acknowledgments and signatures. Please read and click the box saying that you have read each one of the requirements that are specific to purchasing curriculum prior to July 1st. Please put enter your first and last name as your signature and then hit submit. Just know this has now been routed to the Anchorage office because it's got the Anchorage name on the form. That is where it goes. Once it's there, it will be routed to the appropriate staff for approval. Once it is approved, you will receive an email from staff saying that it has been approved. So let's go back and we'll look at the we will go back to the resources page and we'll look at the next form, which is your reimbursement form. Reimbursement forms are a little bit tricky because it's a two-part process. One of the pieces that you need to know on this two-part process has to do with how your receipts are submitted. We are going to be accepting them digitally, which means your photographs or scanned copies have to be super clean and super clear. And then the second part of that is we would like you to keep your receipts in your Raven folder. If you don't have a Raven folder, please create one that you can put them in so that you have them, because if it is not legible when it comes to us, we will send an email back to you requesting that you send us another copy. And if you don't have that receipt handy, you won't be able to submit it for reimbursement. So we want to make sure you as parents know that you need to keep those receipts even after you submit them until your reimbursement has cleared. So let's walk through this form. Just know that, again, the red asterisk means that it's a required field. You have to fill it in. So I'm going to enter again gobbledygook just because I want to move through here quickly. Once you enter all the key information here, hit that next button. Then it shows you here that you have receipt number 1. Please know on the old paper form you could enter 10 receipts. On the digital form, you can only enter 6. So please make sure that your receipt date is that you put in the system matches what's on the receipt, that you put your student's name in here, that you have the vendor name, whether it's, whoever it is, whether it's Walmart, Target, Amazon, doesn't matter who it is, put it in there. The description of service. So what did you get? Was it art supplies? Was it a printer? Was it some books? What was it? Let us know. If there's a portion of it that is pre-K, please mark this yes button and then use a highlighter on your receipt to show what the pre-K part is. And don't use an actual highlighter. You actually need to use a pencil because sometimes the highlighters will erase what is on the receipt. So use a pencil, mark it as pre-K so that we can see that when you submit those receipts. Then we need to know what class it's for. And remember, everything that you purchase has to be linked to a class that's on their ILP. So do that. We have put an other button down here so that you can type in all. If it's general supplies, then it applies to all classes. Dates and times for lessons and tutoring. You'll notice this is not required because sometimes reimbursements aren't for lessons and tutoring. So if you do submit a receipt for lessons and tutoring, please make sure you fill in this section. If it is not filled in with the dates and times, it will hold up your reimbursement. So I'll put just a little bit of information in there. Put in what the total on the receipt is. Remember, you must not put the tax. Don't include the tax. And if it's for internet, the max internet reimbursement is $50. So put those amounts in there correctly. Just know we will double check. But if you do your due diligence up front, it will make it faster on our end as well. So I'm going to put in here 125. Do I have another receipt to enter? If I do, I click yes, and it will route me back through this section of the form. For the sake of time, I'm going to click no, so it takes us to the next section. This last page is really important because it has all the rest of the information. So here, please make sure that you do a good job of totaling up your receipts, that your math is correct. Take time to double check that. That will make it so that we can process those things faster on our side. Right here, there's a little reminder that says all original receipts must be saved in case the business office needs to review them. So that's what I was talking about earlier. Please make sure you save those receipts in a spot where you can find them. That way, if we need you to submit a second digital copy because we can't read the first one, that you will have them to be able to submit. When you go to submit receipts, you can now scan or take a picture of those receipts and email them to your advisory teacher. You'll notice I put advisory teacher emails in here. They are active links, so all you need to do is click on them. As a busy mom, I know that if I try to save this task for later, it won't get completed, so I highly recommend that you do the task right then and there as you're completing the reimbursement, and then hit this yes button. That way we can pull the corresponding email to match up with this form, because this is a two-part process. One, you have the digital submission of this form, and two, you have the submission of the receipts to the teacher. The teacher has to match those two up, review them, and approve them before they are submitted to the business office. So you want to make sure that you've done your due diligence so that the teacher can do their due diligence and get things processed in a timely manner for you. And then last and most important, please make sure that your parent signature, first and last name, is in here so that we can verify that this reimbursement is correctly connected to the right family, and that the reimbursement is not held up because we don't have the correct information. All right. That takes care of this form. Oops, you can see I missed a button, so it gives me the red. I just fix it, and then I can hit submit again. So if that happens to you, just know the red means that you have some more to fill in. If we go back to that resources page, you'll notice that there's enrollment supplemental forms for when we do our re-enrollment and new enrollment for next year. So I'm going to do those forms in another video. The other one that has to do with reimbursements and funding has to do with the pre-approval of lessons and tutoring. We are fast approaching the end of the year, so if you have lessons or camps or things like that that you are planning for summer, or that you are just getting ready to start now, please make sure that you have completed a pre-approval form. If you have not completed one, then you will not be reimbursed. So you must complete this form. Let's take a quick look at it so you can see what it looks like. Please note that there is one form per vendor. So if you have kids that are doing Excel gymnastics and they're doing Taekwondo, you will need to fill out one form for Excel gymnastics, one form for Taekwondo. So let's take a look down through here. Payment options, you have the option to use a purchase order or to be reimbursed. You've got the family number, your family name, the advisory teacher, the vendor name, and then student's first and last name, the type of lessons, the beginning date of the lessons, the end date of the lessons. Please know that we do ask for the day of the week as well, but if you're doing a summer camp and you don't yet know what the day of the weeks are, you can use this to be determined or other button and let us know. We also need to know the times. In addition to that, we added this number 12 block so that you have a place where you can type things in and give us whatever supplemental additional details that might be needed. Please include the number of lessons, the cost per lesson, the total cost, and then sign your name at the bottom using just typing your first and last name. And then hit that submit button, and that will be routed to the appropriate advisory teacher for approval, and then you will get an email from them letting you know that it has been approved. With that said, that concludes our quick walk through the resources. But do know that if you scroll down beyond the forms, there are some additional things in here. As we get ready to head through the next school year, there will be some changes in here, so there will be new handbooks added and things like that. So please take time to explore your options down here, because this will, as we continue to operate in a more of a remote mode as far as doing things electronically and via phone, this will become a great resource for you. Remember, if you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, anything like that, reach out to your admin staff or your advisory teachers. We are here to serve you as we continue to work in a mode that we have not worked before. But our job is to serve. So whatever you need from us, please let us know and we will do our best to assist you. Thank you.